Welcome everyone to a new video on this channel. Today we're actually showing you my top 5 rarest Asian tarantulas I have in my collection, and we're trying some pairing maybe, so let's see how this goes. But first let's get some roaches to get the feeding started. So basically we'll just use a second camera to film all the action over here, and that's how we can actually differentiate the shots today. Let me down in the comments what you think about this approach. So we'll just first get some dubia roaches over here. So like here is my roach colony. They are in a glass enclosure currently, just over here. And basically what I'll do is we can just use this one, open it, put it over here, and then we grab a few roaches, maybe some smaller ones and maybe also some bigger ones. So starting off with some bad news, the adult male I have over here from Haploclastus devamatha, the actual LSD Earth Tiger Tarantula, how the people in the US are calling it. It was an adult male, but sadly, yeah, it didn't make it that long, and the female I have is not ready. But the good news is I can show you the actual rehousing of the female specimen. So we'll just start this because I filmed this a few days ago. So we're trying something new here today. This is the new enclosure for a juvenile female of Thrimopoeus psychedelicus, but they're now called Haploclastus devamatha, the LSD Earth Tiger Tarantula. And basically that's just soil substrate, quite a mix in there with some leaf litter and some plants I had left, and a little bit of moisture yet. So we'll put this aside. On this corner here we made just a tube so that she will actually go inside there and we know all the time where she is. Here we have the specimen itself. It's like in here for quite some time and she's not amused at all. So you see, here she is. Quite an amazing specimen, and the coloration is just remarkable looking. So what we try to do is now we try to get her out. Maybe we get her on the table to get a shot. So the easiest way to rehouse an old bird like this, which is, as you see, like totally not amused, I just use a cup like this. Whoa, you see? She is really not in mood. But the colors are striking. Yeah, but not much stress here. So we just use this cup and try to get her. Whoa, what's wrong with you? Look at the colors. It's just amazing. This blue carapace. But what I like the most is the contrast on the first and second pair of leg. You see this part here? Like where the blackish coloration is no longer completely black, but the parts are actually in a brownish tone. Enough now, we tried to get her out. So I just used this catch cup, put her on top, and the specimen will just go inside. You see? And then we just transfer it like this to the new enclosure over here and just let her go inside. What an easy old world transfer. Even though she was extremely nervous and extremely defensive, but you saw it was really easy and quick. So now let's get it in the light so you see all the beauty of this species. The truth is though that when they reach maturity and you have an adult female of this species, they're no longer in this color. They will be completely black. But Yeah, you saw, she just found the burrow in the corner and she's now inside of it. So, no problem. So the actual pairing, not gonna happen of the species. So we'll just focus on the next one. So the next tarantula is actually also one of my favorite ones. It's a Haplopelma species Bach Ma from Vietnam. Bach Ma refers to the park where they were found in and initially collected for the pet trade. But since then actually there was no need to get them again to breed them, because they are quite successfully bred. So really a nice species, and this one needs a rehouse pretty bad because they grow extremely quick. So what we'll do is we just feed this female here one last time in the last enclosure, and then of course we will rehouse her in the next video. Yeah, so she seems interested enough to grab the roach, but she didn't fully do it, didn't commit to it completely. So yep, now she has the roach. Beautiful tarantula species in my opinion. They don't grow that big, but the interesting fact about them is that they actually live in a place where it's not too hot and humid. Most like other Haplopelma species were found, but this one is actually in more higher altitudes around. So yeah, it's an uncommon species for most of you probably, but nevertheless extremely beautiful and one of my rarest tarantulas I have in my collection. So next one, when you have a female, you have to have a male specimen of the very same species, just in case you try and breed them. So the male specimen is down here. Here he is. Not really in need of a roach, but we'll try anyway. So let's just grab a roach real quick, put it over here. Yep, he's hungry. That's the fun part about Haplopelma species in general. You can usually feed them quite well. They tend to eat too much, so they grow extremely nice when they are kept at warmer temperatures. So Haplopelma Bach Ma, absolutely fascinating species in my opinion. And you can see on the calycera on the outside they have these white hairs, so that makes them belong to the Schmitti group. So there is the Haplopelma Schmitti group, which greatly differs from all other Haplopelma or Melopoeus species. So here you see on the calycera the white beard, so that's really special for this group of tarantulas, and especially of course also for this Haplopelma species Bach Ma from Vietnam. Yeah, so he's enjoying the roach down there, so all we are going to do is switch to the next tarantula. So another one of my favorites. I have some better shots of this as well because I filmed it initially about a week ago for another project, but this species is actually called Phormingochilus pennelhewletti, and pennelhewletti is a species which just got recently described, and as you hear in the background there's some workers present somewhere in the house, but anyway, just let's try. And so this species pretty much new one to most of you and also considered quite rare. So it's an arboreal species, and what is special about them is their carapace. So they have quite an raised carapace part where the eggs are located. Eggs, like the eyes are located. And this one is a smaller specimen, so they're not fully grown yet, but extremely nice arboreal one. And they're not that big, and they don't grow extremely big. So when you consider starting with an arboreal one from the Asian Old World part, then this might be a species to get, because they don't tend to grow extremely big. So the next one I got just recently in a small tube, which is not ideal at the moment. But this species is Cyriopagopus species Hati. And this Hati is Indonesian for watch out. So when you're traveling in Indonesia, there are a lot of people saying these words when they refer to something dangerous in front of them, for example chickens, because they're crossing the street all the time. But this species over here is an arboreal species from Indonesia, and they are quite nice. So let's just try to, you see they're down here, so let's just try and get her up again. So that's what I do the most. It's like you can't squish them like this, and you don't have to touch them in any way. So yeah, it's the safest part, at least in my understanding, in just getting the species up to display. Or you just put her like this and then you have it in your hands. No, but that's the thing when you do it one-handed, so just put it over here and then got the species back in. Yeah. Oh, anyway, not do stuff one-handed, guys. It's not the preferred method to do so. But just try and get her out again. So they are bolty, as you saw. So again, here she is, or he. We try to feed her a roach real quick. So yep, that's a hungry spider. Yeah, these are extremely nice in my opinion. They grow, yeah, not that big, but they tend to keep their carapace at a different color than most of the Asian arboreal species. So I can't wait until they're fully grown. Another species which is bred for several years now in the hobby. They were first introduced by legal exports from Indonesia, so nothing illegally poached from the wild. And that's how you ideally do it when you get permits to properly export specimens. Make sure you maybe don't export too many of them, and then try to breed them so they are available to everyone who wants to get it, because the history has shown that even when you... Oh, what's that? Never mind, I thought I saw something. But the history has shown that never mind if there is a species to get somewhere, the humanity will get it. It doesn't matter if it's a spider or if it's a mammal or if it's a bird. The humanity is just the mankind is like getting stuff they usually can't get. So make sure that you get captive bred spiderlings ideally. So yeah. So Cyriopagopus Hati rehouse very soon, so make sure you stay tuned on this channel, and leave a comment down below and subscribe if you watch this kind of content. You know, we usually don't do feeding videos, so this is probably the first and maybe the last one, but usually we try to go to the field looking for tarantulas somewhere, and this is what makes us thriving in the end. So make sure you watch all our videos from the channel, searching for them in the wild, and yeah, consider subscribing if you like it. Boom! So this is the enclosure I have for my adult female Ornithoctonus aureotibialis, the Golde Fringe Tarantula from Thailand. Yeah, you see how I set this up. So this is a completely fossorial tarantula and they need a lot of substrate. So what I did is I just piled the substrate up on the back here and made a nice embankment. So when you look inside of it, you can still use plants and it still looks quite nice, and the spider just doesn't have any negative side effects. So I'll just show you real quick how this looks like, because the spider anyway is probably somewhere down. So from the front it looks like this. So in bad need of a gardening action here, so we have to cut these plants because they grow extremely well, but we have two different types of plants. The one in the background is doing also extremely nice. You see the building she did, so completely like piled up substrate and perfectly nicely silked up webbing entrance. And when we turn around, sorry for the noise, it's the autofocus of the camera, but when we turn around and check here, you have visibility of the spider. So coming from over here to down here, the spider is sitting here, and you even see the golden fringe of the adult female. So she'll most likely not show by now, but we will do a tickling action in about a couple of days to disturb, provoke, or how you want to call these adult tarantulas in my glass enclosures, so you are actually able to see them. So for now we just put inside some adult roach. We have here an adult male, so the roach will just be put inside of here. And I already hear it. She reacted to it already and grabbed it down here. So let's see if we get it on camera. Consider using this method. Of course, there is the haplotank method, where you just pull a pile of substrate in it and then you have a nice fully covered tank with a lot of substrate in it where the spider can dig. But this method here doesn't change at all. This is 25 centimeters in height, I think, so you have still a lot of substrate to pile in, and the spider can use and build their structure just like they normally do. So of course in nature they dig burrows until like 30 or 40 or even more sometimes centimeters deep down in the burrow or in the ground, but what I saw is for captivity purposes you don't need that extreme depth of substrate. So when you breed them, you can actually also use this method right here. So we have a few other Asian species here, but I will not show them in this video. They will be in the next one. So that is it for now, just a short feeding and update video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you didn't, make sure you leave a comment down below or put the thumbs down on the video if you didn't enjoy it at all. Make sure to maybe leave some ideas for the next one. We have plenty of coming videos up, and yeah, just it takes time. So thanks for watching guys, and see you guys next week.